Well, hey, welcome to Church Chat.
Yeah, it's our weekly podcast on our church podcast channel.
At Maitland Presbyterian Church.
Listened to by literally tens of people, and we're so grateful for each and every one of you.
So today we were talking about what to talk about on the podcast this morning, and our one big commitment on the podcast is to always just be like as authentic and honest as we can.
And that's like my commitment just across the board.
Just across the board, but especially on the podcast to not try and force something that doesn't feel right or talk about something that we're not feeling inspired to talk about.
Yeah, I can't pretend.
Can't fake it.
I can't fake it.
Right.
Every year that goes by, I can fake it less and less.
Which is going to be a real challenge, I think.
Yeah, because you've
never been someone with like a huge filter.
It's getting
general,
less and less.
So like if you see Dave scowling, maybe just like give him a wide margin. Which actually is a great segue into what we're doing today.
Yeah, because it's Monday morning.
Yeah.
We record this on Mondays. It comes out on Wednesdays. And so, I'm just a little grumpy.
Yeah. Like, sometimes you have those Mondays where you're like, new week, new me. I'm going to thrive. I have all these ideas. Let's go.
Who has those?
I don't know. People in articles, blogs. I don't know. Maybe.
But I don't think we've had
that's not usually our Monday vibe. But today it's like not even close.
Yeah.
So this
Someone has occasional Mondays.
Today's going to be a Grumpy Cast with Megan and Dave Collins. And we're going to talk about the reasons that we are feeling fussy this morning.
I love that. That's our new word.
Our new word, fussy.
Fussy.
Yeah.
It's like it describes it so well.
Yeah, because we don't have anything to like actually ever be grumpy about. Like,
no.
To be clear, these are like very like first world, soft living, grumpy reasons, not like actually hard things.
Yeah, because as time goes on, not only do I get more authentic in how I'm feeling, but I get softer.
Well, right, because we have older kids now, which helps. Like, when you have little kids, you're just so beat down that, like, something bad happens. And it's like, well, I mean, that tracks. Like, you just, like, wipe someone's butt and then, had a kid, like, yell at you and pull your hair or whatever. I mean, we had good kids, but, like, having little people is hard.
It is.
And so young parents are really tough. And then you get older and your kids need less and then you get really soft.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the reasons we're grumpy this morning. And we're going to try to make Bible connections to them.
Okay,
I'm
ready.
How we're going to wake up on this Monday morning.
Yeah.
So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Reason number one that I think we're grumpy is that we did not get a solid 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Which again, like young parents everywhere, just like, are you kidding me? But we're pretty serious about sleep. Like, we love to sleep.
And it started off great. But
it did start off great. Like I was asleep with the TV on in bed by like 9:30, 10. Yeah. Hard sleep.
Yeah. And then around midnight. Well, we didn't know it was midnight. We just knew that there was this sound.
Yes.
And I went out to investigate because it was like a different sound I've ever heard before.
Yeah.
And it took me a while.
And Dave and I, like, we don't wake up quick when that happens. And we usually, like are completely useless. Like, if it was an actual emergency, we'd be totally useless.
I would be totally great in an actual
No, we mostly do this. Ha, 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 ha. Together. While we try and figure out what sound woke us up from our sleeping.
So I go out to the kitchen and look around because I felt like it came from the kitchen. And it took me a while to figure out what it was, turn the lights on. And then after I was on a second pass, I noticed we have this shelf.
Like open shelves.
Open shelving in the kitchen. And one of them has Glencairn glasses on it, which is what you use for fancy whiskey. And three of them were toppled over, and one of them was...
Three of them were toppled over?
One or two, well, including the one that was on the ground.
Okay.
Or on the counter. And one of them was on the counter.
But it didn't even break.
It didn't break, but it made that's what the sound clearly was. But we couldn't. I told Megan about this, told you about this, and we couldn't for the life of us figure out what could have done that.
So we were up for an hour, and like when you're asleep and your brain, like it's like more of like your reptile brain when you first wake up.
Absolutely.
Especially when you get startled awake. So immediately my brain is like, okay, is there like a murderer in the house? And then I'm like, well, so then rational brain's like, why would the murderer just be looking like, are they going to pour whiskey before they kill us? Like,
yeah.
Why were they on our open Glencairn shelving?
Yeah, and then we went, well, maybe it's a ghost.
Yeah.
Which I don't believe in ghosts any time of day, except if I've been woken up and I can't figure what something is. Yeah, because
then I was like, okay, the one child we still have at home, like his door is locked when he sleeps at night. I was like, maybe we just shut the door and lock the door. But then, my reptile brain was like, yeah, it's not going to stop a ghost. So, I'm out there looking too. I was like, well, I'll just walk through the house and make sure there's nothing weird. Everything looks fine. The dog didn't wake up, which seemed weird. Mm-hmm. Useless guard dog.
Yeah.
So yeah, we couldn't figure it out, and then we finally, after like an hour, and this is why we're grumpy, fussy. After an hour, we were like, maybe it was like a lizard, or maybe we have a mouse, maybe it was a creature.
Yeah.
So
Or,
we
well,
finally
there's
got
also a
back to
plant
sleep.
right next to them, and maybe the plant
Yeah,
did it.
maybe the plant like grew quickly. I don't know.
It was very, very off-putting.
Theory on what did the Star House, we'd love to know, because we
Yeah.
spent the better part of an hour, and then you're awake, and so
Mhm.
then it just took a long time to get back to sleep before our alarm. That
So
goes
then we
off
put the
at 6.
TV on and watched another episode of Survivor, working our way through every episode of Survivor from the beginning.
From the beginning,
So
which
we're
has
in
been a
season
whole
8.
process.
I'm really looking forward to it taking up the whole TV screen soon.
Yeah, because right now it's the square
The
from when it
square
was
in the
box
middle,
TV.
yeah. But yeah. So what scripture do you think connects to that?
I was saying, well, there's some good scriptures about sleep. Like, I lie down and sleep in peace, O Lord, for you keep me safe. It's a psalm somewhere in the Psalms
Okay.
about lying down and sleeping in peace.
Oh, there's also the scriptures about the watch of the night that, because especially in
Yeah.
ancient times with, it wasn't expected you would sleep through the night because you'd go to sleep earlier. And so maybe that's just what we had. We had the first watch of the night.
The first watch of the
Or
night.
second watch. I don't know what watch it would be.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we're a little fussy because we didn't get our full 7 to 8 hours of deep REM sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's okay. We're going to power through
Yeah, we are.
because we're super tough.
We're tough.
We are super tough.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, again, everyone listening who is a young parent or an insomniac, and I've been an insomniac in the past, so like I hear you. I've had those nights where I'm up just all night, and it is the worst.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, lately the sleep gods have smiled upon me, and I've been sleeping well. So then when I don't, I just feel, yeah.
Yeah.
I had my 2 doses of green tea this morning, 2 bags of my green tea, and hoping that powers me through.
Careful.
Look out. Got my caffeine.
All right.
All
So
right.
our first reason we're fussy.
Is that we're tired?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's the
Okay.
second one?
Number 2. Now we should preface this, like big preface. We love children, and we especially love our preschoolers here at Maitland Presbyterian Church. Like, they are truly phenomenal, and they're the cutest thing, and it makes our day all day
Yeah.
to see
And
them
we both went to preschool
in the
here.
halls. Yeah, we've done chapel here. Like, they ask the funniest questions.
I
Like,
love these
we
kids.
love that they're here.
But
But you know how when you're a little fussy anyway?
yeah, I don't know if it's picking up through the microphone. Let's be quiet here.
No,
They're
they're
not
being
screaming right
adorably
now.
quiet right now.
But occasionally, so
our
but-
windows to our office face the playground.
The playground.
Both of our offices. And they're like 1960s windows, which is what we have in our house too. So it's like not so much a window as like a tissue that's
Right.
like between you and
It
the
keeps the
outside.
rain out, but
It
doesn't
kind
keep
of-
anything else
Yeah.
out.
Kind of keeps the
So
rain out.
sometimes, but it is funny. Most of the time I'm completely used to it. I don't hear it at all.
Right, me either. Like they can be like totally melting down and I don't hear it. But
Yeah.
sometimes when I'm grumpy, it's like all I can hear.
But it is funny when people come in and that's all they can hear.
Right.
Or when people come in and like I had a pastor in the presbytery come in a few years ago, and I just noticed that he like didn't react at all to it. I was like, "Oh, does your office face a playground as well?" He's like, "Yes, it does."
So reason number 2 we're fussy is the preschoolers are loud outside our windows.
Yeah.
Which I mean now we like put our AirPods in most of the time when we're like
Oh my
trying
gosh.
to work.
Let's talk about how great AirPods are.
Right. Noise
Noise
cancellation.
cancellation.
Game changer.
If you haven't tried this,
I'm
it's-
feeling
it's
less
worth
fussy
it.
just thinking about putting in headphones later. Yeah, so the preschoolers are wonderful, but especially the youngest class is like toddlers and 2s. Our preschool starts really young.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've ever been around a 2-year-old who's having a meltdown, like it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like it's loud. Now imagine there's 10 of them because it's contagious and they're all melting down and they're all right outside your window. And yeah, it can be a little unsettling.
Yeah,
So
you
that's
can.
reason number 2 I'm fussy is our windows need to be replaced with thick windows.
Yeah. We'll put that on the list.
We'll add that on our list of grievances.
Noise canceling windows would be pretty great.
Noise canceling windows would be wonderful. And right now they're like totally make us look like liars because they're being like super quiet and cute out there with little chatter and like playing happily. But
Antoine, can you put some screaming in post?
yeah, so we love them. But when they get really loud, it's like I've gotten where I mostly schedule, if I can, counseling sessions with people who come in like later in the afternoon because someone will be like sharing something really hard about their lives. And then someone outside the window is like screaming and just, and it's not that they're upset or being mistreated. It's just, someone took my ball and total meltdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, total meltdown. And if you're a teacher at the preschool and you happen to have picked up on our podcast, we can hear everything that you say outside our window. We know a lot about our teachers' personal lives. from our windows. So just know that, like, doesn't bother us. We're good, confidential people, but just know that it's not just 2-year-olds who hear your conversations. It's also
that's the funny thing about windows. Like, you feel like you're not 8 inches away from someone,
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you are.
You're totally just right there.
That's man. I defy you to come up with a scripture that fits with this.
Let the little children come to me. Clearly, Jesus totally condemned, totally convicted. Like, all that, we would get up in the pulpit all the time and preach about children need to be in the church, and like we need to love them even if they're noisy and wiggly, and we want kids here and all this stuff. But then we're like, can you guys be quiet? Can you keep it down?
Yeah. And usually when it's other people's kids, and that's what we tell people, when they come to church, we want to bring your kids, because it doesn't sound nearly as loud when it's not your kid.
Right.
Right. Your own kid wiggling and whispering in your lap is probably the most distracting thing in the world.
Yeah.
But I don't. Can you ever get over that as a parent, having a kid with you in the pew?
I don't think so. It's hard. I remember because we did that for years with our kids when they were little. And I can remember just being, horrified because they would get so loud, and it felt like they were being so loud. Mm-hmm. I think they were not.
No. Over our sabbatical, we went to worship at different churches, and this one church we went to a couple times had a little family service, and they came around and they brought markers to the kids, and there were these 2 siblings, and they gave them each markers, but they only gave them one red marker.
Yeah, they gave them each like different colors.
And so
rookie mistake.
They started, and I thought it was great. But like, didn't bother me at all. But like,
no, I just felt so bad for them.
And they were trying to it was an Episcopal church. They're trying to get through to communion, and
yeah.
And my favorite was like the whisper. She had, they just had enough, and she leans down and goes, "Will you be quiet?" It was fantastic.
At one point, the father, I think, was just trying to get away from it. So he's like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. But then he totally got his, because then one of the kids was like, I need to go to the bathroom. And the next one was like, I need to go to the bathroom. That was the best part of being about a mom of boys in our home, is like, we would be out and the kids need to go to the bathroom. And I'd be like, oh, you have to go with your dad. Mm-hmm. And I would get like 5 whole minutes in the bathroom by myself. As a young parent, it was a delight.
The bathroom really is the retreat when you're a young parent.
It is. Yeah, I was telling you the other day, there's a book written now that's like While Daddy Was in the Bathroom. And it's a children's book about like how dad was in the bathroom for like 2 hours and all the things that mom and the kids did during that time.
Oh my gosh.
It's so excellent. True. Like, someone really knows what's up. That was written by a very angry young mom. He was like, I'm at least going to profit off your negligence. So I definitely think, as a church, we love kids. Kids should be here. Kids are wonderful in the future and all of that. But we are fussy because sometimes it's just exceedingly loud outside our window. There was a good little scream.
Came through.
So that's reason number 2. But as a church, we absolutely, like, I feel convicted, by that passage that Jesus children in Jesus's time weren't special the way kids are now. Like, now our kids are special. They were not in biblical times. They were property. So it's even more meaningful that Jesus was like, let them come to me and do not hinder them. Because that was even before kids were like a thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they like named them. It wasn't their culture that like didn't name their children until a certain age because the childhood survival rate was lower.
Yeah. And so the more significant date isn't your birthday, but your name day.
Your name day.
Yeah.
Interesting. And they're there. See, they're warming up. Mm-hmm. They're warming up. It was still early, so I think they were still waking up. Now they're waking up. They're here. They're here for it. And just a side note, like, prayers for teachers everywhere for these last few weeks of school, because this is a brutal time to be a teacher.
It really is.
Like, kids of all ages just get feral at this time of year. And, like, everybody's just counting down till summer. So if you're a teacher, like, bless you, hang in there.
You're doing the Lord's work.
You really are. You really are. We can hear it. We don't have to do it. Like, this is how ridiculous and fussy we are. We're not taking care of the children. We can just hear them.
Yeah.
All right. That was reason number 2. Reason number 3, and this is related. Packing a lunch at this time of the school year, like, breaks me as a human.
I can't relate to this at all. Because
I'm the lunch packer in our family, and Dave, we have a really good household balance. Like, Dave does like half the home stuff, which is, you should get like a medal, because that's not usually the case in family systems in the home. Women everywhere. So we're still working on that one, but Dave really does, like, we do half and half. But one of the things that I happen to do is packing the school lunches for our kids, since
And is this
the
one kid
beginning of
now?
time, it feels like.
And he's a large child.
What do you, like he's an older child.
He's taller than me now.
Yes.
So he eats a lot.
Yeah. And so I think this is the time of year when you just want to be like, you get a potato. Like that's what I'm putting in your lunch. Because you just get so tired and everybody's burnt out at this time of the school year.
Yeah. What is it about packing the lunches in particular that
Well, I mean, I think some of it's at 6 a.m. And, nothing feels like a good idea at 6 a.m. But
right.
carefully packing a lunch just for some reason just feels like
it's a beautiful lunch though.
Thanks.
Little slices of grilled chicken and fruit and
if you're gonna do something, do it right. Really. Yeah. If you're gonna do it, give it your all. And there's also Doritos in there. It's not like it's perfect. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's always this time of year though. Like every year since kindergarten with the kids.
Yeah, May's pretty rough.
When we get to May, I'm like, I cannot pack another lunch.
Oh.
But I'm also aware we're about to have a senior and I should be like, really soaking up.
Only how many lunches left, do you think?
Probably too many to do a countdown at this point. There's nothing feels great about like, I have 193 lunches left to pack.
Better than 1,000.
So I think today that was a fussy thing.
That was a rough one today.
Yeah. Yeah. Luckily, like the ice packs were in the freezer. That's the worst when you don't want to pack the lunch and you forgot to do the thing to make it work. Like now you have to figure out lunch you could do without ice packs.
Is it better? For a while, he was doing roast beef sandwiches, and I felt like smelling the deli roast beef at 6 a.m. was pretty hard on you.
Maybe nauseous. It's a little better now. Chicken doesn't smell quite as strong. Yeah, it is a little better. It reminds, like, it's just so different than when we were kids. I know that's such an old person thing to say, but
really it was.
We didn't have ice packs in our lunches. I don't know why. I don't know if they were invented yet or whatever, but I just remember,
my mom would wrap my sandwich in aluminum foil.
Okay.
And I felt like that kept it colder.
Mine was in a Ziploc bag, but like the lunch meat was always like room temperature, and I had American cheese on it, which doesn't like do well when it's kind of warm. It just became like gummy, kind of. Mm-hmm.
It starts to revert to its actual state.
Right. So like, why didn't we get sick? Now I would never eat like a room temperature lunch meat sandwich.
Well, I think we're also now I'm to get ready for the grumpiness.
Okay. Yeah. Bring it. Bring the fussy.
We're our kids' immune systems are just not nearly as strong as ours, especially, mine.
Well, especially yours.
Especially mine, because my mom's, half Argentine, and so, the rules down there. Oh, yeah, fantastic. But yeah, in our house, I can eat literally anything, and the three of you are like, I don't know. I don't know if I can eat that.
To be fair, we're not being super picky. This will be something that's like meat that's like significantly out of date.
Yeah, but it's fine.
And he'll eat it and be totally fine. And I get near it and I throw up. Like I can't like.
I can eat.
Because in my family, like if milk was like going to expire in a few days, my dad would like get rid of it. I
saw him dump it down the drain once because he looked at it. And was like, didn't even smell it. Just looked at the date.
Yeah. So I grew up. So I have like no gut biome resistance at all because I grew up like you only ate something if it was like certified like. Absolutely could not be bad.
No, thanks.
But then I also ate like a ridiculous amount of the Entenmann's fat-free pastries that were so big in the 90s, which were just like all chemicals. So I think I'm just like a full preservative now.
Technically, everything's a chemical.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wizard. But now I have another dad on my list of why I'm fussy. We'll get to that one in a little bit. When Dave is a know-it-all on a Monday morning. All right, scriptural connection. Scriptural connection.
Okay, scriptural connection to.
No, I'm okay. I'll go.
You have a scriptural connection to being annoyed about making our kids' lunch?
Lunches. Yes. Okay, so I had to make one lunch. Get ready. Jesus made 5,000 lunches.
Wow.
But it all started with one packed lunch, right? A little boy brought in his one little lunch, and they used that to feed all the people.
No ice pack in there.
No ice pack, but also some mom somewhere put fish and bread in a little bag for a little boy and led to the miracle of Jesus. So I'm doing the Lord's work.
You clearly, absolutely.
Packing the lunch, you never know.
Yeah.
The Lord needs it.
I would love to see the multiplication of Doritos. Combine feeding the 5,000 with like a Hanukkah miracle of like, the Doritos bag that never gets emptied.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yep.
That would be special.
So it's my very weak scriptural connection on that.
I think you got the beginning of a sermon there.
Yeah.
I think that's a great. Next time that scripture comes around, I think that's the connection.
And there's legs on this that it was just fish and bread and God could use it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you never know when this like mundane thing that you're doing every day might be, and I'm not suggesting that there's going to be a miracle with my son's lunch today. However, there are a lot of other things that we do like on the daily, like little things every day that we do that might make a difference in some way that we don't know.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me, Roots Connection, of this is probably in the 90s. It was a whatever the equivalent of like an email forward or something that like went viral in the 90s was, but it was probably a magazine article, newspaper article, someone talking about how in church said that they can't remember a single sermon their pastor ever gave. And so it was kind of an indictment against that. But then it was a letter to the editor. But then the great response, and this is like the thing that went viral, is someone said, you know, that's true, but I really can't remember most of the meals my spouse has ever made. But without them, I would have starved.
Right.
And so all those little things, or you know, I think sermons are, you know, kind of important.
But those little things matter
Personally.
to people in your life. Our college age son came home like mid-year, and he saw us up packing the lunch, doing the thing. He was like, man, you don't appreciate those lunches till you don't get them anymore. Like, as someone now who has to eat in the cafeteria or go buy his own food or go to the grocery store, when he's watching me like put the little chicken and the little washed strawberries and all the little things, and
Nothing makes you grateful like not having it.
yeah.
So
I think that's a good note too. Like, you're making a difference. It's a small thing, but someday the people you do these things for might appreciate it and realize that you loved them, that you did it because you loved them. I do it because I love my children, and because we're too cheap to buy school lunches, but also because I love my children.
Yeah.
All right, packing lunches.
This is great. Okay, so how many is that so far?
That's 3.
That's 3. Okay.
All right, number 4. We were talking this morning about.
So we have 4 reasons that we're feeling fussy this morning.
Right.
Okay,
And
I feel
none
a little
of
better
them
about that.
real. Like, we're super aware that these
I don't
are
know.
ridiculous. That like we woke up this morning with a roof over our heads and our health and a good marriage, happy children. Like, we're fine. But we're just being honest that even when everything is great, you can still have a morning when you're a little fussy. And sometimes it just makes you feel better to admit it instead of being like, instead of shaming yourself for feeling fussy.
That is a very good point.
If you get into a whole shame cycle of I shouldn't feel fussy because I have nothing to actually be fussy about, and then you fight it and then you just get more fussy. It's better sometimes just to be like,
You
gosh,
just gotta
I'm
let
fussy.
it out. You gotta say it. You gotta name it.
Otherwise, you're actually going to subtly take it out on everyone around you. So just name it. That's so much better.
Absolutely.
No one is good at hiding when they feel grumpy.
You know, and if you have to, like, do a podcast about it and make the people in your church listen to it.
All right, reason number 4. The connection between weather and church attendance.
Oh, get ready.
Get ready. Church, this is for you. If you missed yesterday, I would love to be like, this isn't for you. This is totally for you.
We are looking at you because we can't look at you because you're not there. Okay, but before I have one more. I want a preface to this one.
Okay, preface.
Because I think this is better. Also, our 9:30 people, could you get there 5 minutes early? Like, there were like 3 people in the pews at 9:25.
And then people in the pews at 9:29.
Yeah, and it was okay by like 9:40.
But by 9:45, we're like cranking. But you guys have missed.
It still was a little sparse.
Yeah.
And we blamed it because we as we're getting dressed, it was like raining and windy.
Yeah.
And
I think the wind was the big like, whoa, it's windy and raining.
But like my thought was, I'm getting dressed. I'm like, oh man, this would be a nice morning to like lay in bed.
Yeah, so we get it. It's not that we don't understand.
But we also live in a place that has beautiful weather sometimes on Sundays.
Yeah.
And you people tend to not come to church when it's beautiful weather either.
Right. So if it's raining or windy or cold or there was a time change, or like if there's any negatives, we feel like people tend to stay home because you want to stay in bed, it's raining, or you don't want to get out in the rain.
Because you're like, oh, I'll just say I watched it online.
And so whenever we wake up and the weather's poor, we know like, okay, we're not going to have a big Sunday at church today. And it's not about numbers, but it's encouraging to us when all the people we know who care and are a part of our church actually come. It feels really good to all be together.
Yeah.
But the same happens when the weather's really good. We wake up and know, like, all of our church is going to the beach this morning.
Right.
Like, one Sunday before church, we went to the grocery store to buy communion elements. And I honestly feel bad for her because this was totally like running into your teacher when you're skipping school. So we're going down the aisle at the grocery store to get like bread and juice for communion. And she comes around the corner and she's got a cart with like Doritos and Coke and sunscreen. And she's clearly wearing what is a beach cover up. And it's Sunday morning and it's 10 minutes till church. And she looks at us and we look at her and then she just starts cracking up. And she's like, of all the people to run into.
Yeah.
But if it's really nice, people in Florida go to the beach instead of going to church. So like our best attendance Sundays, we have to find a sweet spot where it's like a little too hot.
Weather's medium bad.
For the beach.
Medium good.
Yeah, not raining, but like a little cloudy. Like it can't be good weather for golfing or the beach or being outside, but it has to be nice enough where people are willing to get up, get out of bed and get in the car and come to church.
Yeah.
It's a real sweet spot.
Yeah. And so
and that's hard.
I feel like this is a legitimate gripe for a church pod, for the church chat.
For church pastors.
Let's chat about when you come to church. You should do it more.
So one thing this reminded me of scripturally, and you'll have to help me remember, we've been reading the Bible in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say I just read it.
Oh, well, I'm behind. So.
Chronicles.
Oh, okay. No, I'm
maybe
good
just
at
after Chronicles. Shoot, I'm gonna have to look it up.
Nehemiah,
Esther, Job, Psalm, Proverbs. Yeah, I think it was in Chronicles. But no. Sorry, it was either in Ezra or Nehemiah.
This is gripping radio.
Okay, I'm adding another thing to my fussy list. We're gonna have a long list. It was either Ezra or Nehemiah. Which one? Okay, Ezra or Nehemiah.
Ezra's rebuilding the temple. Nehemiah's rebuilding the wall.
Okay. I think it was Nehemiah. It's the one where like they're marrying people they shouldn't be marrying outside. Ezra. Okay, Ezra. So there's a lot of marriage happening outside the Israelite community for those of you guys that aren't doing the Bible in a year. So the prophetic word, God was trying to keep God's people like pure to like the religion. Like when they go out and marry someone that worships like some weird statue, they're going to be more likely to worship that weird statue, and they leave the faith that God's trying to build among
because there's
people.
No Presbyterian to meet in the middle.
That's right. That's right. And so at one point they're like, okay, we need to talk about this. Let's round up everyone that's married someone outside the faith and we're going to deal with this. And their response in this particular part of Ezra was, it's really raining right now. So maybe we should do this later. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Talk about something else and I'm going to look it up.
I can't just monologue.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. That's really.
What's something else you're grumpy about?
Oh, this right now.
That I'm looking something up.
No, that you're asking me to just, do a little soft shoe. I can't do that.
Okay, here we go. Ezra 10.
Okay.
Hold
you found it?
Yep. I'm going to read to you.
Okay.
I just remember it made me laugh because I was like, okay, so it's not just us. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Okay. Ezra 10. Within 3 days, all the men of, this is the NIV just because what came up on my phone. All the men of Judah and Benjamin gathered in Jerusalem. On the 20th day of the 9th month, all the people were sitting in the square before the house of God, distressed by the occasion and because of the rain. Hold on, it goes on. Ezra the priest stood up and said to them, "You've been unfaithful. You have married foreign women, adding to Israel's guilt. Honor the Lord, the God of your ancestors, and do his will. Separate yourself from the peoples around you and from your foreign wives." And then they say, and I love this, the whole assembly responded with a loud voice, "You are right. We must do as you say. But there are many people here, and it is the rainy season, so we cannot stand outside. Because this matter cannot be taken care of in a day or two, and we have sinned greatly, let the officials act for the whole assembly." And it goes on from there.
Oh, and then they go to each town to do it.
But I just think the reason was really funny. But they're like, I mean, it's not even that it's raining. It's rainy season. Like, it might rain. So to have everyone just stand outside when it might rain on us feels a little much. So how about we'll just send a few people, or you just come to us. You just come to us.
I love it.
And I love that because it's like God's people from the beginning have been like, we can't get wet.
Yeah.
Can't go out in the rain.
Yeah, we're made of sugar.
So I thought
we might melt.
That verse made me laugh because it made me think about us on Sundays.
Yeah. Oh man, that is some Bible gymnastics to get to that one.
Thanks.
That is well done. I am impressed.
So those are the 4 reasons that your pastors are grumpy this morning. I feel good. I feel better though.
Yeah, you gotta let it out.
I feel like we got it out before we see anybody at church and talk to them today, which is probably a positive because we do have meetings and things today.
Yeah.
So it's probably positive that we So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Thank you, dear listener, for being our therapy this morning, so that now we can be less fussy pastors on this Monday.
Yeah.
Now, see today's church weather. It's sunny, but it's like it's gonna be a little hot. So people probably would.
We should have had church on Monday instead of Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, great talking to you.
Great talking to you too.
I'll see you in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go in my office. You're making me fussy. Thanks for watching Church Chat. Thank you for joining us for this random Monday. If you're feeling grumpy today, let us know in the comments or shoot us a text. Let us know.
Yeah, what makes you grumpy?
What makes you grumpy and what you do about it, and we'll try and come up with a scripture that connects to it. How about that?
Nice.
So thanks for being with us today. We'll see you next week on Church Chat. Bye.
Bye.